Senator, what will it take for you to vote to reopen the government?
It's all on the Republicans. Shame!
In simplest terms for the American people, can you explain why the government is shut down?
So next month, I won't receive food stamps.
Hello, is AOC in today? The United States government has been shut down for a record amount of days. This is the largest shutdown in the United States history. And today we're here at the nation's capital talking to people about the shutdown, why it's shut down. A lot of people are being affected from the shutdown. Government workers are not being paid. SNAP benefits have been cut nearly in half. And now airplanes are going to be flying at 10% less than usual here in the United States because of this government shutdown. Right now, Republicans are blaming Democrats while Democrats are blaming Republicans. And so today we're going to be speaking with all sorts of people, from congressmen to congresswomen to protesters to people on the streets to people losing their benefits from SNAP and everything in between. Today we're going to see what's happening and get the truth about the government shutdown. Here we are here at the U.S. Capitol. And so right now you have some Democrats outside of the Capitol building right now. They're doing a press conference and they're blaming the government shutdown on Donald Trump. And their signs say, "Stop healthcare heist, billionaires got richer, Americans get sicker." So they're blaming the shutdown on President Trump. And if Democrats and Republicans don't come to agreements right now, what's going to happen is premiums are going to go up. What Donald Trump is saying is that they need to pass whatever they're trying to pass, and then they'll talk and they'll be able to negotiate it out. But Democrats want to keep the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, in place before premiums do go up on Americans. In simplest terms for the American people, can you explain why the government is shut down?
Because Mike Johnson won't negotiate, and John Thune won't negotiate, and Trump won't allow us to save health care for the American people.
Look, right now we have some people getting angry at you. Are you a Republican or Democrat, sir?
I'm a Republican, yeah.
Republican, sir. Look, at right now we have some people yelling at right now because of the current state of the government. But
they're kidnapping people's good care, they're denying them medication, they're holding.
And sir, do you think there's anything the Republicans and Democrats can do to reopen the government?
Yeah, well, they should. We need the votes of the Democrats in the Senate to have closure, and so that we can open up the government. That's what we need to do. Open the government, and then let's get back to work.
I just talked to this lady over here. She said she's also works here in the government. She said it's on the fault of the Republicans here not opening the government and blaming Trump for not negotiating or not talking.
No, look, we voted 13 times to keep the government open during the Biden years. We didn't put any requirements on that. We just kept the government open, even though there was a bunch of stuff that they did. Excuse me, I'm talking, okay?
Okay, and I'm talking too!
Wow, look at some hostility out here outside of the Capitol.
A lot of hostility. Look, we voted 13 times to keep the government open, even during the Biden years. Even though we did not agree with a lot of the stuff, we never kept the government as hostage. And so, open the government and let's get back to work.
Thank you. So what are you guys yelling at this guy for?
We've already told you. Busted ass Charlie Kirk, get out of here.
I am not trying to be Charlie Kirk. I'm asking you guys a question. You have a platform right now to voice your opinion about the government shutdown. We just talked to a representative. He says it's because the Democrats. We're not live right now.
We told you yesterday. We got a Nazi.
On the topic of the government shutdown, do you guys believe that the Democrats should vote to reopen the government? There's been over 10 votes so far.
People are going to lose their health care, and people are going to die in result to that.
Do you not
So
believe
they're holding people accountable they're holding like people's health care because of the fact that, if you guys want SNAP benefits, if you don't want to starve, then let's take away people's health care? No, that is not why would we do that?
Why are we the only first world country without health care? Do you want health care?
I do want health care.
Okay, do you really think it's okay that these corporations privatize health care so people cannot get the surgeries they need, the medication they need? Do you think that's okay while all these other countries have free health care and we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world and yet everything is privatized?
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that's wrong with healthcare here in the United States. And you guys think that they should reopen the government so they can negotiate furthermore?
They're not going to negotiate. They're not going to negotiate. They had all the time to negotiate. They're pushing lies. Undocumented people have never received assistance in this country. That is not true. So this whole propaganda that they're pushing, that they're trying to get health care for illegal aliens. First of all, how are you going to say someone's illegal on stolen land? This was colonized land. Second of all, undocumented people do not receive assistance. Why is that lie continuing to be pushed? Why do we think some human beings are better than other human beings? Do you think that you're better than her?
No, I do not.
Okay, so why? So she's
illegal and legal
she's
here in the United
Hispanic.
States.
She's Latino. How are you gonna say that a human being is illegal? Do you know how broken our immigration system is?
And would you believe me if illegal migrants were actually getting benefits here inside the United States?
They are not.
If I showed you a video right now, would you believe me?
Because let me see your fake news, because it's not true.
right,
Undocumented people do not receive assistance. That is not factually correct, and I would like to see your source.
All right.
To be honest.
These people were inside the Row Hotel, where there's also thousands of other illegal migrants living. Estaba quedándose aquí en el Row Hotel.
Llegué julio.
¿Cuántos meses es eso?
Como 7 meses.
¿Y han tenido que pagar alojamiento?
No, nada. No he pagado nada.
Es 100% gratis.
Sí.
Okay.
¿Y le dan almuerzo?
What I have to say,
Keep watching.
Sí, le dan.
well, they're getting benefits. They're getting things that we should be paying people, things like this. Healthcare to me isn't an issue that we should be paying for. With Medicare, yeah.
Undocumented people do not receive assistance. Well, they're getting benefits.
And because of what's called the filibuster, there is needed 60 votes to pass a bill to reopen the government. Right now, there are 53 senators that are Republican that are voting to reopen the government. Meanwhile, they need just 7 Democrats to vote to reopen the government, and they have already voted more than 10 times. However, they have not been able to get enough votes from the Democrats to reopen the government. So I confronted one of the senators who has voted no each time to see what it would take for him to vote yes to reopen the government. Senator, what will it take for you to vote to reopen the government, to get your vote?
We need to have an airtight guarantee that healthcare tax credits for purchase of insurance will be guaranteed. Americans need to be sure that they can afford healthcare insurance, and I will vote to reopen the government when there is a commitment to extend the healthcare tax credits that make health insurance affordable.
And Republicans are saying a lot of illegal migrants are getting a lot of benefits. Do you believe that?
Undocumented immigrants are not receiving benefits under the ACA. It's prohibited by law, and it's not happening.
And if you guys were to reopen the government and voted to reopen the government, do you believe Donald Trump would negotiate healthcare?
I'm sorry, who are you?
My name is Nick Shirley.
Okay.
Do you think Donald Trump would negotiate with you guys to with healthcare? Or do you trust his
Donald
words?
Trump has refused to come to the table to even talk about a compromise. Compromise is not a 4-letter word. We ought to be willing to talk. Unfortunately, Donald Trump has absolutely refused to talk.
And now we are going to a protest to talk with the people there about the government shutdown. Before we go there, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Opus Clip. What used to just be an AI clipper has now become the most powerful AI growth tool for creators. Over 10 million creators and businesses have used it to receive over 60 billion views. And Opus is super simple. All you do is you upload a video or copy a YouTube link into Opus, and then it will come out with tons of perfectly edited shorts for you to post on all of your platforms, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. Opus is the place to go. And recently, Opus just came out their new AI editor 3.0 that comes with smarter auto framing, better virality scoring, and new captions. And if you're curious about how good Opus Clip's videos are, here are a few examples of people that have clipped my own videos and they've received hundreds of thousands of views. It's simply that easy with Opus. And Opus Clip is going to give you guys 1 week free and 3 months at 50% off. All I have to do is use code Nick Shirley and go to the pinned comment or the link in my description. I promise you guys, Opus is a game changer. And now let's get back into the video. Now we're outside of the White House where there's typically a constant protest from one group or another. Let's see what the people here have to say. We are outside of the White House right now. Donald Trump is right there. Do you think he is to blame for the government shutdown?
Well, the president, they used to say the buck stops here, right? That he's in charge of the government. He says he's in charge of everything. I hold him to his own words. Yeah, he's the president, right?
How do you think this government shutdown ends? The largest shutdown in history.
How do I think it ends? I think maybe the Republicans come to their senses. They realize that they don't need to go down with the good ship Trump, and they come back to the negotiating table.
Do you think Republicans are going to turn on Trump inside the Senate and the congressmen, congresswoman, everybody over at that building over the Capitol?
I don't know how long it's going to take, but eventually they'll be like rats off a sinking ship.
If you were a Democrat, would you vote to reopen the government, or would you stand strong with the other Democrats like Chuck Schumer?
I don't see any point. You can't negotiate with these people. I think they have all the levers of power. It's within their ability to reopen the government. If they don't want to, then let the American people see what we've got.
Shame! Shame! Right now we have a bunch of handmaids with the middle finger yelling at the White House, saying shame to the White House right now. Should they reopen the government?
Shame! And Trump! Shame! That's all on the Republicans. Shame! 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 Republican shutdown. Shame! Donald Trump shutdown. Holding people starving is not a hostage negotiation. That's disgusting.
What do you think about the people on SNAP not getting the benefits to the full extent right now?
Well, we don't give those people benefits so we can give billionaires their tax breaks.
Do you feel like what's going on in the government's a clash between the billionaires and the common people?
It has been for decades. It's just gotten worse. He is the most blatant about it, for sure. But it has existed for past presidents, not just Republican.
What do you think about this government shutdown?
I'm happy the government shut down
And why are you happy the government shut down?
because the people need to wake up.
And do you think there will ever be a day underneath Donald Trump when Republicans and Democrats can sit down and discuss?
No, they're rapists. And those who aren't rapists aren't really interested in discussing rape ideologies.
Do you trust the government right now?
No, definitely not.
And you would not like it to get reopened?
I don't know. I think it needs to stay closed until Americans wake up.
Should they abolish the filibuster?
Oh, no. No. That's the only thing that's saving either side, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want something to go through, the filibuster is what helps people take more time to get more research done.
With this government shutdown, AOC has been very outspoken about the shutdown. We just got access inside of this building, and we can go interview anybody, so I'm going to go straight to AOC's door and see what she has to say. Hello, is AOC in today? She's not. Is she in Washington, D.C.?
Sorry?
Is she in Washington, D.C.?
She's not.
AOC is not here. Dang it. All right, thank you. So we did just try to talk to AOC. She's currently not here inside Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, because of the government shutdown, a lot of these congressmen, congresswomen are not here inside of Washington, D.C. because they are not required to be here because the government is currently shut down. So that's why a lot of these halls are just empty because the congressmen and congresswomen are not here. They're not getting paid. But these people should be here if they're trying to work on some sort of resolution. But because the government shut down and they're not getting paid, they don't technically need to be here. So if the resolutions are going to be made, you probably want your congressmen and congresswomen to be here inside Washington, D.C., but a lot of people just aren't here from the Republicans and Democrats. And right now in America, over 40 million Americans rely upon SNAP or EBT, food stamps, benefits here inside the United States to get their food. And right now, because of the government shutdown, instead of the full $9 billion that goes out every month, has been cut nearly in half. Now only $5 billion of that will be distributed to the American people. Right now we're here in a lower income neighborhood here inside Washington, D.C. area in Anacostia. We're speaking with the people about how the government shutdown has affected them. How do you feel about the government shutdown?
I feel sorry for the people that is involved, but don't bother me at all.
And have you guys lost any benefits? I know the people said to come here to Anacostia for...
Well, I'm on food stamps, so next month I won't receive food stamps. And I really need these food stamps because I only receive...
Okay, we were just talking with them.
Y'all gotta do this. Y'all gotta do this like a type of way.
All right.
Do you know where you're at right now?
Yeah, in Anacostia. They said to come here.
What are you guys recording?
Doing a video on the government shutdown.
No, not over here.
Go more that way?
No, just get out of this southeast. Go up. If you want interviews, like go up northwest or something.
All right, sounds good. We'll get out of here. Within 5 minutes of being here in Anacostia, we got drug dealers mad at us on the corner, and then the police said this is not the right space to be doing these interviews at. This is where everyone told us to come in Washington, D.C. if we want to talk to people that had potentially been losing their SNAP benefits, but that's what has happened. We got kicked out real quick. How's the government shutdown affected you and your family or people in your neighborhood?
So definitely there are a number of people in my neighborhood who have been receiving food stamps and other benefits and who have been severely concerned about, Thanksgiving and just being able to provide for their families. There are a number of people who have been working who are experiencing hardship, and in a community like this where, we're in heavy pockets of communal poverty, it just calls for more violence, more of the things that we're supposedly trying to fight. So it's definitely been hard pressed and hard hit on this end.
How come you feel like the government's not opening? It's the longest shutdown in U.S. history.
I think we have an administrator or a president right now who's just not really to be bipartisan or work across the aisle. Unfortunately, he has his own agenda, and everyone else is paying. Right now, if you think about it, He's shutting the government down, and there are individuals who are impacted who are not eating. If you think about it, when you think about the UN and the policies that we have in place in the UN, if a country did that where people were not eating and a leader was holding off those resources, we would have a whole different conversation. So I think it's definitely an issue.
Because over 40 million people will either lose or not receive their full benefits from SNAP this month, which is a lot of, that's over 10% of the U.S. population is dependent upon SNAP and EBT and food stamps.
It's a major issue. I think financial literacy is like a bigger issue. I think sometimes, just because of, I don't know, that's another conversation, but I would say just short version, financial literacy is an issue. Education is an issue. If we have those things in place, you can take $5 and turn it into $100,000 with sound financial literacy principles and discipline.
How's the government shutdown affecting you and your family and people inside this neighborhood?
It's affecting us because some people depend on food stamps and people is not working to provide for their family for the New Year's. And people really rely on food stamps because that's how they get their food for Thanksgiving and stuff like that.
So are a lot of people arriving to the supermarket or to the gas station and then not being able to use their EBT cards? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because they said they're not giving out any government assistance since the government shut down. So I feel like that's a change.
Do you feel like families will starve if they don't open up the government?
Yes.
Has your family personally been affected from the government shutdown?
Hell yeah, I've been affected from the government shutdown. I'm a felon. I just came home from the feds. I'm trying to get a job. I can't even go through the programs. I went through the program as soon as the government shutdown started. They said they're not doing nothing. They said you ain't heard of the government shutdown. I'm like, what y'all doing here? We consider it essential.
So that's something you may not have thought about with the government shutdown. He just came out of federal prison, but now because everything federally is shut down because of the shutdown, he can't go get a job now.
Right, can't get a job. But long live the man, freedom man.
How's the government shutdown affecting people here inside this area, in this neighborhood?
Let me tell y'all, in this particular neighborhood, I would say majority of the people rely on food stamps for food or food banks, either or both.
Would you say if the government doesn't reopen, families will go starving here inside these neighborhoods?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And who are people here blaming? Are they blaming Trump? Are they blaming the Democrats? What do they think?
I think these people, everybody's blaming everybody. I think at this point in this climate, everybody knows that Republicans and Democrats, all is the same.
And with what you said about so many people relying upon the government here, do you think this might be a wake-up call for people to realize that maybe we shouldn't rely so much on the government?
I was just having a conversation with my friend about that, and I was saying the amount of people that is affected by this government shutdown and then not having their benefits is ridiculous, and that people should really sit down and think about that the government is not really reliable. So you should always have either a source of income, some sort of a savings or backup plan, or have something going for yourself, a side hustle or something so that you can get your money. The government is not reliable. This government shutdown has proven that. And so now people need to start coming up with, contingency plans for themselves and their families for whenever the government fails us like they're doing now.
Because free sounds good until there's no more free stuff.
And then now you gotta figure stuff out yourself.